welcome back to the True Crime Guys podcast. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Michael.
How's everybody doing? Did you win the lotto?
Would I be here if I did? No, I'm just kidding.
Hey,
no, I probably
wouldn't. You wouldn't. Well, maybe you would.
I might take a few weeks off. A few weeks off, but I would miss it.
But if you're a $2 billion lottery winner, if you're that person in California, who I believe they haven't announced yet, maybe they just let it calm down, because some states, as we've talked about in the past, they require you to release your name, which California is one of those states, which is just such a dumb rule.
It really is.
But I think what they're doing is like they're letting the heat calm down. You know, once the story's kind of old after a week or two, no one cares anymore. That's when they release it, which is, I guess, the way to go if you have to.
Well, you're giving the lottery winner a chance to kind of get their affairs in order, right? Kind of get some type of security. Maybe like make sure all of your money is stashed away in safe areas, banks.
If we've learned anything, it's not going to matter either way. You're still fucked.
Oh yeah,
it's a kiss of death. It's like getting your girl's name tattooed on you, and you win that money. It's just a matter of time before some bad shit happens.
No doubt.
But where I was going was, I think that, you know, if you won the $2 billion or you won the lottery, you'd still listen to podcasts. You probably, if you were a fan of True Crime Guys prior, you probably still are. You know, you have more time now to listen to it. Or you're probably flying in a private jet listening to us now, as opposed to driving in a hoopty on your way to work.
Yeah, exactly. If I won the lottery, I would invest in our own show. I would advertise the shit out of it, and then build on that wealth. Yeah, that's what I would do. I'd be buying ads all over the place,
dude. Oh my god,
you guys would see True Crime Guys ads on fucking Hulu and shit.
Yeah, we'd be out of control. We'd be like, what's that big YouTuber that just goes around giving away money and shit? We'd probably
Mr. Beast.
That. Yeah, we'd be driving around in a fucking souped up creep van, throwing cash out.
Dude, I was at the grocery store the other day, and Mr. Beast has candy bars now. Candy bars.
He's a juggernaut. He's got burger restaurants and all kinds of shit going on.
Yeah, he just makes like pop-up burger restaurants. It's just like, that's an empty building. Cool. We'll serve burgers there for like 2 days and sell a shit ton of them because it's limited. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
And then it's like parents from all over the place want to go and get their kids a Mr. Beast burger. And the dude is super likable too. It's like all the money he gives away. It's hard not to like him.
Yeah.
He said he's going to run for president. Did you watch him on Joe Rogan?
I watched some of it on Rogan, but I don't recall that part.
Yeah, he said he's going to run for president.
Hey.
I mean, he's got a while. He's younger than we are, so he's got a little while to wait. So maybe he'll come to his senses.
I like his resume more than most of the current presidents that we've had in the past. So.
Yeah,
dude's done more for the common person than these assholes have. So
no doubt too, and he gives away locally too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
you know. So,
but we are back to the Lotto Winners Series. I felt it was a good time because we just had the $2 billion Lotto winner in California.
Yeah.
Lottery's back in the news again. And every time I just do a quick Google search of lottery winner murder, like, it's just unbelievable how it just never stops.
It's overwhelming.
Yes, we really could do like 20 parts, because it seems as though almost every single person that's won the lottery has had a bad turn of luck within 5 years.
Oh, yeah. Especially when you're talking millions. Yeah. It's like the more they win, the worse their luck, man.
Yeah.
It's got to even out. And then I think we have one guy we're talking about today that won the lottery twice. So, I mean, his odds were just not good. Not good.
You're just doubling the chance for bad shit.
Right. You win the lottery twice. You got lucky once. You should just took your money and left.
Right. Yeah, so for Lottery Winners Part 4 of the series, we have 3 lottery winners with 3 different bout outcomes to their stories within 5 years of their life-changing win. So one that got murdered, one that murdered someone else, and then one that just had a spree of horrific luck. I would almost rather be murdered than what this guy went through.
Very true. Very true. You ready to get into it?
Let's do it.
All right.
Putting their hope in impossible odds, praying to the highest wagering gods, buying a pig in a poke thrills us common folk. We got your lotto winners, your ear-to-ear grinners. They got a tank of gas and a fortune to last, at least until the karma bites them in the ass. Look at you now, you're living high on the hog, and you owe it all to the luck of the draw. Throwing cash out the window, can't wait to blow it all. We got your lotto winners, your ear-to-ear grinners. They tank of gas and a fortune to last, at least until the karma bites them in the ass. 'Cause it's a numbers game, it's not if, it's when, and all good things must come to an end. So take a shot in the dark, just don't expect to win. We got your Lotto winners, your ear-to-ear grinners. They got a tank of gas and a fortune to last, at least until the karma bites them in the ass. We got your Lotto winners, your ear-to-ear grinners. They got a tank of gas and a fortune to last, at least until the karma bites them in the ass. At least until the karma bites them in the ass.
All right, for our first case this week, because we have three, but the first one we're going to discuss a Michael in North Carolina.
Uh-oh. I feel targeted.
Right? It's not
okay.
the Michael that you're listening to on the other end of this call.
Unfortunately.
This is a man named Michael Todd Hill, who collected his winnings from a $10 million lottery scratch-off ticket. The North Carolina nuclear plant worker described his lucky 2017 event as life-changing. How could it not be when you win $10 million and you were working at a nuclear plant prior?
Oh, yeah. Wow.
You know?
Yeah, that's definitely life-changing. But what did he end up bringing home? At 10 mil, still life-changing, even if it's
I
half
think
of
after
that.
the taxes, it ended up being $4 million is what he ended up walking away with.
Godly.
Yeah, so in North Carolina, he played an Extreme Millions scratch-off ticket at a gas station and came up short in August of 2017. But he went back to the clerk, gave her some shit. He said he joked with her, "How come you didn't sell me the winning ticket?"
Right.
As he bought another one. He then returned to his car, started scratching, and didn't take long to realize that he had a winning ticket. He said, quote, "When I got the dollar symbol, I knew I won something. I saw the 1 and the 0 and it still didn't hit me."
Right? It's surreal. I mean, side note, how many clerks hear that stupid joke, man?
I know,
You
right?
sell a lot of lottery. "Oh, we just sell me a winning ticket." You know, they probably hear that a million times a day.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Okay,
Yeah.
well, here's a winning ticket."
Sometimes
asshole.
before you say a joke, you have to think, is this just low-hanging fruit that everyone says?
Right.
And then just don't say it.
So just think about it, right?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
giving your waiter or your waitress like an actual advice in form of a tip.
I've
Yeah, come on.
started showing a lot of restraint with the "that's what she said" over the years. I only pull that one out of the bag when it's just like the prime opportunity, because it's just too easy. You could say it every 5 minutes and people are just rolling their eyes.
I know, right? It's like you say, low hanging fruit. You don't want to be the Michael Scott of the office. You don't want to overdo it.
Yep.
You gotta
pick
use
your
it
spots,
wisely.
man.
That's right. That's right.
Yep. So as he went to his car and started scratching that ticket and realized that he might have had something here, he went back inside and asked the clerk what the ticket's message meant. He said, quote, "She told me, sir, I think you just won $10 million."
He needed a witness. He's like, this can't be real.
Right. He thought maybe she gave him one of those fucking prank ones.
Right? Yeah. Just because of the jokes, she's got tired of hearing the jokes.
Imagine like you like your wife gives you one of those tickets and you think it's fake and you rip it up and it's like, it's not fucking fake.
That was real.
That's had to have happened.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So yeah, after realizing he had won the $10 million scratch ticket, he called his wife to let her know of the life-changing news. He said, quote, "I told her to pack her bags because we just won $10 million.
Damn.
Makes you wonder where they were headed. I guess I talked to my buddy at work about that $2 billion lotto, and he said that the first thing he'd be doing was heading to Maui, and he'd get a massive room in a resort, and he would have all kinds of financial advisors hired and lawyers to come out for the first week or two. Would just be spent sitting there figuring out what he's going to do before you even talk to any family or anything, because they're all going to want a piece.
Yeah.
You got to sit down and have everything in writing. This is what this person gets. This is what, and after that, you're done. If you burn through that money, don't come back.
Yeah.
Have it in writing. When you get that check, you're signing here saying this is it.
Right. Yeah, you definitely need to talk to somebody. Like if you're someone who came into this wealth, just suddenly, you definitely got to talk to somebody. Like I myself, that would do that. I've never imagined having that much money. So if that happened, I'd be like, well, I got to talk to somebody who knows what to do with this much money. I got to get my ducks in a row. Because like you say, everybody is going to find out one way or another. You can't hide money long.
No.
You can't hide it.
No.
Can't hide it.
No, because you're not going to just live the same life. You're going to spend some of that money, and people are going to be like,
Right.
wondering how you bought a Lambo with that nuclear plant money.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Well, I wouldn't do that. That's for sure. I don't think I'd buy a Lambo if I could. I don't know. Maybe rent
That
one.
wouldn't be my choice. That wouldn't
I
be
would
my
rent
choice.
one.
But I'd buy some fucking sick rides for sure.
Oh yeah, but it'd be more useful, more practical than a Lambo, I think. I like
Well,
to
it's pretty
think.
practical if you like having fun.
True.
So he agreed to take the lump sum of $6 million, which came out to $4.1 million after state and federal tax withholdings. You imagine that, dude? Like, so he won $10 million and he ends up with $4 million. That's how much fucking taxes they take. It's unbelievable.
That is pretty insane.
No wonder they do this, because that money comes from everyone buying the tickets, and then they end
Yeah.
up taking 60% of it. It's
I
like
know.
they're the real winners every time. Every time they win.
Every time. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. You know, just like the casinos in Vegas, man. How they build those places. They're always the winners, right? When you're gambling, you're not winning. You're not winning the most.
Yeah. So he had very practical plans with his $4 million that he had just taken home from that winning. He said he planned to pay off bills and invest in his wife's business. However, almost 3 years later, he was in the middle of an 18-month relationship with a woman in her early 20s named Keona Graham. And
Okay,
this
so
is-
hold up. So he was in an 18-month relationship 3 years later. So that means a year and a half after he won the money, he started this relationship.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude,
he
I
jumped
think-
right into that.
I think you win that much money and it's super exciting and fun for 6 months, and then you're like, okay, what now? I've already bought all this stupid shit that I wanted, and what
Right.
the fuck am I going to do with my life?
Yeah.
And
Now-
you start dating a 22-year-old.
And I'm sure she loves you for you.
Right. Yeah, for sure. She was decades younger than him in his 40s at this point, and the two, right off the bat, had a rocky relationship, and there would be multiple police reports of domestic shit going on.
Right.
And on July 20th, 2020, her mother filed a missing persons report when her daughter did not show up at her job as a corrections officer at Pender Correctional Institution. And on the same day that that report was filed, maid staff at the Sure Stay Hotel in Charlotte, is that how you say it? Charlotte, North Carolina?
Shallot.
In Charlotte, entered room 310 and found Graham on the bed with a gunshot wound to her head.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it didn't
it's
take
on
long.
the coast.
It didn't take long for police to figure out that this was the recent lottery winner. They concluded that she was shot while sleeping with a .45 caliber handgun, and quote, surveillance footage from the hotel showed Michael Hill as the only individual in the hotel with Graham.
This just blows me away. Like, you got all this money, right? Even if you wanted to get rid of her, couldn't you just pay her off? Or, I don't know.
There's got to be another way, right?
There's got to be another way to deal with this much money. Maybe like buy her a house somewhere else, you know, and be
Yeah.
like, here you go.
A lot of times with these stories, there's limited details, limited information, but I have to wonder if maybe this is obviously a secret side relationship. He's at some sketchy hotel. He's obviously married.
Yeah.
I think maybe he just didn't. Maybe she threatened to expose him, their relationship to his wife, and then she was going to take half his money. Who knows? That's where my mind goes with it. That's the
That
motive.
could
It's
be.
got to be right.
Right, because he claimed that she was cheating on him, right? Even though he's cheating on his wife with her.
Yeah.
He got upset because now his
That's right,
side
yeah.
chick is seeing other people. At least that's what he said. But even then, that's even less of a reason. I think, why don't you just ditch her because you have millions of dollars and go find another girl that loves you for your money? But I guess he
gonna
didn't see it that way.
Yes, you're probably not the hottest thing on the market, aside from the money, but you still have you're still a millionaire.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And so you can find another good-looking girl in their 20s. But
Right.
he did say that his motivation was that she was communicating with other men at the hotel where she was staying.
Just
At
communicate.
the seedy motel, she's communicating with other men. Yeah.
Imagine
At
that.
54, he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole after a jury found him guilty of first-degree murder. So, man, this is crazy. Within 5, you win $4 million. You should be able to
Yeah.
ride off into the sunset and live, pretty well, pretty high on the hog in North
Yeah.
Carolina for that.
Hell yeah.
But nonetheless, less than 5 years later, he's sentenced to life in prison.
God, what a turn
And it's
of
no laughing
events.
matter what happened to happened to the victim here, Graham. Family friend Tiffany Wilson recounted in 2020 how Graham was, quote, very loved and she's very beautiful. and she reiterated her disgust over the lottery winner's actions. It was totally unnecessary.
Absolutely. Regardless of why she was with him, regardless of any infidelities, she did not deserve this. This is, like I said, there's a million other ways you handle this. Mm-hmm. It's like, I mean, she wasn't the love of your life, but like, come on now.
Right.
Like this, something ain't right. Something ain't right here. Like you say, I think his motivations were more that she threatened. She was probably blackmailing him, maybe. Who knows? Maybe, like you say, maybe she was saying, I'm going to expose you to your wife or whatever. Maybe he's been abusive because there were multiple domestic violence disputes as well. Maybe he started being abusive of her and she just got tired of it and threatened to turn him in. Who knows? But awful ending, man.
Nothing excuses it, for sure.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
None of these theories.
Nope.
That's case one.
All right.
For case two. Let's go down to Brazil.
Banger right there.
Let's go down to Brazil. In 2020, a humble average Joe became the winner of the Brazilian National Lottery.
This is the saddest one that we're doing, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, this guy did nothing wrong. He aside from maybe being naive. That's the only thing I can say.
Yeah, it's like with a lot of the lotto winners that we've covered, they've not saying they deserved it, but they made some really bad choices. But like this guy, he speaks to the fact that maybe winning the lotto is really bad luck. I mean, he seemed to do everything right. He had his values in order and whatnot. His family and friends he took care of, and
he just didn't take enough precautions. He didn't realize how much of a target he was when he won that money.
That's right.
And everyone knew he had won it, and he just tried to kind of almost continue living the same way he had before.
Yeah, that's tough to do.
Yeah, but like I said, he was a target walking down the street, which he would do frequently. So yeah, in 2020, a humble average Joe became the winner of the Brazilian National Lottery. Jonas Lucas Alves Diaz, who was 55, won 47 million reais, which is 9 million American dollars.
Wow.
In the Mega Sena, the largest lottery in Brazil. And despite becoming a multimillionaire overnight, he maintained a humble lifestyle. He continued to live with his family in the same house in Hortolândia. I'm not sure if I'm butchering all these Brazilian names, by the way.
Yeah, probably.
He didn't increase security in his home, which is just mind-blowing, dude. Like,
right?
You at least gotta get some Simply Safe going on, something.
Something, man. A Ring doorbell, maybe two.
Right.
I don't know.
Maybe some guard dogs.
Yeah. Seriously, get you some trained Dobermans or something running around out there, bro. Like
some Malawas.
Yeah, there you go.
Didn't increase the security in his home, and he continued to go to the same places, almost always in his flip-flops. His neighbors told the Brazilian press that everyone in the area knew of his fortune, and the easygoing lottery winner allowed himself just a few luxuries. He quit his job selling tools, bought a farm in a nearby town, and gave a childhood friend a truck. So he must have bought the farm as well as having the same family home that he still lived in, but he maybe had the farm as recreational or whatever.
Right.
He also covered the medical expenses of another childhood friend who was undergoing cancer treatment. So this dude was a good guy, man. Yeah, he's just a great guy. In local press reports, everyone who knew the millionaire described him as a man with a simple life and a good heart. However, unfortunately, he was found seriously injured on the highway in Hortolândia, where where the same home that he lived in, where he would walk the streets in his flip-flops, a city of 236,000 inhabitants in the state of Sao Paulo. And he was taken in the hospital where he died on September 14th of his injuries. And since then, 2 suspects have been arrested and another 2 remain at large. So 4 people kidnapped him, seemingly tortured him, and then dumped him on the street. They tried to take as much money as they could. He had gone to, just left his home and gone for a walk, but never returned. The kidnappers held him for 20 hours before he was found on the highway. During this period, the kidnappers asked him to pay 3 million reais, or about $600,000 and he was heard in audio talking to the bank manager at the bank where he had that money, trying to approve this transfer of $600,000.
They're not going to do that over the phone. No freaking way.
Yeah, a police
Probably
station.
Probably not in person.
Dude, I took a significant amount of money for me, like not $600,000 out of the bank. And it was a pain in the ass, dude. I had to explain why I was taking it out and everything else. It was like, oh, I'm buying this large item, vehicle or whatever. And it's just like, it took multiple phone calls and a scheduled meeting at the bank to get the money.
That's bullshit.
And it's like, bro, it's my money. Give it to me.
Right. Your own money. Now imagine trying to call and do this over the phone.
Right.
There's
$600,000. Yeah.
There's no way. No way they approve this.
A police station explained that the suspicious request was rejected because it was, quote, an unreal amount of money. The Secretary of Public Security in Sao Paulo reported that the criminals withdrew the equivalent of $4,000 in Rias from the victim's account. So that's all they got was $4,000 for this, like $1,000 a piece, basically.
Wow.
Authorities said that the attack was motivated by Alves Diaz's lottery win, obviously, and they've opened an investigation into extortion and homicide. Rogero de Almeida Spinola, who has a criminal record, was arrested in Santa Barbara de Oeste, and the arrest was confirmed by the governor of the state, who was identified as the owner of the bank account that received the money from the Alves Diaz during the kidnapping, was arrested in the same city.
That was dumb. That was really dumb.
Yeah, so they just they tried to transfer it into one of the guy's bank accounts. It's like,
He used his actual bank account with his
well,
real
we're just
name on it.
friends. We're just friends. He just wanted to give me some money.
Right.
Just so happened that his, lifeless body got dumped on the side of the road right after he made this transfer to me. It's just a coincidence.
Right.
That's all it
That was what he wanted. That was in his will.
Yeah.
Wow.
As of now, 2 suspects remain at large. And this crazy statistic here, definitely don't want to win the lottery in Brazil. Since 2007, at least 4 winners of the Mega Sena prize have been murdered.
Oof.
So in the last 15
Well,
years.
So
And I don't know how often these Mega Sena prizes are given out.
Right. I'm guessing they make you go public in Brazil, like California.
Yep.
It's like, I don't understand that, man. I mean, I do in a way because like you want to prove that the lottery is real and that people actually win. And by doing that, you get more participants. I understand that. But by putting those people's faces out there and 9 times out of 10, it's not like they're doing in California. It's right away. So,
Yeah.
You don't have but maybe hours to get your affairs in order before everyone in your town knows that you're a millionaire now.
They've seen you on the news holding that big check.
Right. Yeah. They know where you live. They know you don't have security.
You're not returning home. You're not returning home. You're
Right.
sending a close confidant, a family member to your home to get whatever specific items you need, and that's that, man. I wouldn't go home.
Yeah, if you're in Brazil or some area where they make you claim the lottery, yeah, I highly recommend you move,
Right.
after winning, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what North Carolina's rules are. I'd have to check that out. But if I ever won here, I would fight tooth and nail to not be identified. No, don't take my picture. No, don't put my name in the paper.
Just put on one of those goofy disguises when they make you go on the news.
Wear like one of them president masks or something
right.
Yeah, do not put my face out there, man.
Well, you could
No
also
way.
change your name right afterwards and move, like you said. That'd probably be a mode of action for me, for sure.
Exactly.
And probably move into one of those very low tax rate countries, like Costa Rica or one of those.
Yeah.
Or Puerto Rico. I think it's Puerto Rico where they move. It's like 2% taxes.
Oh, nice. And that's a district of the U.S. now, or what do they call it?
Yeah.
I can't remember what they call it. It's not technically a state because they don't want to give them too many rights.
Right.
But it's still a property of the U.S.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. On to the next one. This is a bigger one. There's more to it. And it's just this guy just won the lottery. He's already a millionaire. And then just had what was that movie? Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events. This is guy's life after winning the lottery. It was just one after another tragedies.
Yep.
So Jack Whitaker was his name. He was a loan winning ticket for the record $2.4 billion. Oh no, this is me talking about last week's lottery winning.
Yeah, this is the California one first.
Yeah.
We got a little more information on that real quick.
Yeah. So a loan ticket for the record $2.4 billion lottery jackpot was sold in Altamira, California last week, making the lucky ticket holder the winner of the largest lottery prize ever. This is kind of cool though. I didn't realize this is how it works. Where the ticket is sold, the owner of that store gets a prize as well. So the ticket was sold at Joe's Service Center, the California Lottery. And the results posted to Powerball. Similarly said there was one winner who matched all 6 numbers, the odds of which were 1 in 292 million.
Damn.
Joseph Chayed was the owner of the gas station and was awarded $1 million for being the retailer who sold the winning ticket.
I think that depends on the state, right? I think every state probably has their own rules as far as the station that sells the winning ticket or whatever it is. But
it's kind of brilliant in a way. It's kind of brilliant because then you potentially have more tickets sold because you're of course, if you're the gas station owner, I'm gonna be pushing these tickets on people like, hey, you want a lottery ticket with your fucking soda? Like
Exactly.
I'm gonna be a salesman because the more you sell, the more higher your odds are that you sell the winner.
Exactly. Why not push them? And it just creates more and more businesses wanting to sell these tickets.
Yeah, and he's getting such a tiny percentage of the winnings. 2 billion, you get 1 million. Like that's far less than 1% of the winnings.
Right. I wonder if it's just like I wonder if it is a percentage or if it's just like if you sell anything over a certain amount, it's just a flat million fee or whatever. Because then you got to think out of $1 million, you tax that at 60%, he got 400 grand maybe,
like 400
right?
grand, yeah. Yeah, if you take the lump sum, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
so let's go on to Jack Whitaker, our last case for this part 4 series here.
Yeah.
55-year-old Jack Whitaker had been the president of Diversified Enterprises Construction, a contracting firm in Putnam County, West Virginia, for 12 years when he hit one of the biggest lottery jackpots in history. On Christmas Eve 2002, Whitaker purchased the winning quick pick ticket at a supermarket in Hurricane, West Virginia, where he had stopped for a deli sandwich and to get fuel for his vehicle. And when you think about these, just the split-second decisions you make in life that change things forever, like, I think I'll stop and go inside and get a sandwich and a lottery ticket. It probably decided this as he was filling up his car, you know?
No doubt. And that probably wasn't even the only station on that corner or whatever. It's like, I could go there. I could have went there. I could have went there.
Yeah.
Yeah. The chances are so slim when you really do the math.
And he wasn't a regular lottery player, but it almost seems like it's always those people, right? It's never the people that are like habitual every single time they buy a bunch of tickets. It's the person that's like a one-off, like, fuck it. Yeah, well, someone from the office is going to get some tickets. Yeah, here's $5. That's the person that wins. Yeah, and just drives everyone else crazy. Yeah,
I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he did buy every time it got over a certain amount, though.
Yeah. He said once it hit 100 million, that's when it was worthwhile for him.
Oh yeah, and he was already a millionaire.
There you go. Yeah, that's one of those rare occurrences where that is kind of annoying to everyone else, dude. It's like, bro, he already had a net worth of over 17 million prior, and on this given day when he stopped to get gas, he actually bought $100 in tickets because the jackpot was so high, and that's because it had reached over 100 million.
That's insane, man. Save it for somebody else, man. Save it for somebody who needs it. But also, you would think somebody who's already a millionaire would know how to manage their money better and manage this type of wealth. But it had nothing to do with the way he managed the money, his misfortune. It just was misfortune, like you said before.
Some of it. I mean, having $500,000 in your car while you're at a strip club.
Well,
that's a bit of mismanagement of money.
True. I forgot about that little tidbit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he flaunted the shit out of it.
He did. He gave some away. He was a bit generous, but also rubbing it in everyone else's face a little bit. Mm-hmm. So this jackpot that was won on Christmas Day was a total of $314.9 million, or $170 million cash. Whitaker chose the cash option, and it came out to $113,386,407 after taxes.
God,
that's plenty.
Damn.
That's plenty. It should be plenty to get you by and your grandchildren by.
I think I can make it. I think I can make it on that. And like I said, if you had that much money, you can invest it in your businesses and your ventures that you already have going and just turn that into more money.
I think if I get 113 million lump sum, I'm probably taking 100 million and putting it in some very low risk investment in interest. Just get in a bunch of IRA account, and then set your will and all that stuff. And then the 13 million, I live modest, but also comfortably. I buy some big properties and things like that, and have a good time.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm no financial guru, but I hear a lot of really rich, intelligent people talking about investing in these life insurance policies that the interest rate is way higher than anything else, but you can also draw from them with no penalties. So they just take a check from it every month, and it's like more than enough to live off of, and you're literally making money at the same time. Yeah. Your money is growing, and you're living.
There's so many
life.
Loopholes that rich people take advantage of that poor people have no clue, dude. If you have any hobby that you do that you spend money on, you turn it rich people turn that into a business and they write everything off, even if it doesn't make money. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the kind of shit they do. And then Warren Buffett never fucking sold stock in his life. He has billions of dollars worth of stock, and he just takes out loans on those stocks and then that's what he lives off of. Never
Right.
sells them because when you sell them, you get taxed on the gains from selling the stock. So he never sells them. And then when he dies, he's going to hand those stocks off to a family member who can then sell them and not get taxed because it's when you're gifted stocks, you don't have to get capital gains
brilliant.
tax on it.
It's like once you get so rich, you don't have to live off your own money, right?
Right.
That's
Exactly.
bullshit.
Start spending other people's money. Start spending the
bullshit
government's
to
money
me.
and shit.
Damn it. Oh,
Yep.
rich get
They
richer.
have all the advantages. Yep. And they also get bailed out every time some bad shit happens.
I know, right?
It's like, oh, you're forgiven for that mistake. It's fine.
God,
There's poor people. You don't pay your fucking rent. You're getting kicked out.
yeah, you're on the street.
So the first year following Whitaker's big win, he was quite generous. It went pretty well. He wasn't shy about spending his money, though, like you mentioned. He initially pledged 10% of his winnings to Christian charities, including several churches affiliated with the Church of God, which I guess
Yeah.
is big down in West Virginia.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. West Virginia has a really low cost of living as well.
I was gonna say, imagine being a millionaire
dude.
in West Virginia, bro.
And-
I can't get out of my head that documentary, The Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia. That's immediately what I think of when I think of that state, and it's probably not the best representation.
No,
But I just think white trash hillbillies when I think of West Virginia. I'm sorry.
I mean
If you're
there's some truth.
if you're
to
listening
it, right?
from West
But there's
Virginia,
also
send us an email
gorgeous
about
areas.
how it's not as bad as that documentary made it out to be, or maybe it
No.
is exactly what that documentary showed it to be.
I mean, there are parts. Yeah, there are parts.
I just
that are-
picture trailers in the woods. That's what I picture.
Yeah, in the mountains, of West Virginia. Yeah, I'm sure that's
right.
That's
I live in-
absolutely a reality.
I grew up in Vegas. Everyone just thinks it's the Strip. There's more to it. So just
Exactly.
if you live there, let us know.
Yeah, no doubt.
He also donated $14 million to establish the Jack Whitaker Foundation, a nonprofit organization that provides food and clothing to low-income families in rural West Virginia, which is pretty awesome.
That is.
And also for the deli manager who served the biscuits at the convenience store where he purchased the winning lottery ticket, he purchased a $123,000 house and a new Jeep Grand Cherokee and gave her a check for $44,000. He then purchased a Lamborghini and drove it through his neighborhood throwing out cash.
Okay, the first part is pretty common. Like
Yeah.
that's what I was going to say. You know how earlier we were talking about how the state of California paid the gas station or whatever that
Yeah.
sold it. I think it's more common that the winner pays the
Yeah.
gas station or
Yeah.
the attendant themselves. But as far as the Lamborghini thing, that was a stupid move for somebody who's already wealthy. Like, come on, man. It's like I don't know. This just seems like why not go and literally just hand the money to people in your neighborhood that you can tell need it? You know, somebody's roof who needs done. Be like, here's 50 grand or whatever. Fix your roof and buy a new house or whatever the hell. I don't know. It's throwing it out the window of a Lamborghini. You're doing that shit for yourself. You know, it's like a bucket list, bucket list thing. I don't know.
I just picture people fighting, like they're following him in this Lambo. Once people, the word's going to get out, this is going on, and then it's just going to be like it's just like a bunch of trucks following around this Lambo, people getting out and fucking fighting each other for the money.
But bunch of kids on their bikes just
Just
fucking
turns into the
following this
purge
dude.
in the streets of fucking West Virginia.
Oh shit.
So things went well for the first year, but they started to take a turn about a year in. On August 5th, 2003, thieves broke into his car while it was parked at a strip club in Cross Lanes, West Virginia. They made away with $545,000 in cash that Whitaker carried around in a suitcase.
Dude.
So he's doing the
Wow.
Mayweather thing, carrying around untold amounts of cash in just a suitcase just because.
Yeah, but he forgot the entourage of bodyguards.
Yeah.
If you're gonna carry
True.
around $500,000, dude,
And you just left that shit in your car outside in the parking lot, bro? Like, what?
It's absurd.
How much did he take in? I could maybe add another suitcase with $500,000 that he brought in because he had some cash on him in the club for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Dude,
Definitely.
the strippers see him come in.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
dude.
Talk about the purge. They're fighting. They're fighting to get on that lap.
I
For
was
sure.
gonna say just pushing each other over, running over to him, like fucking car salesmen in the lot.
Yeah, like sharks.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
And when he was asked why he would carry that much money around with him, he responded, "Because I can." In another incident, 2 employees at the club, the general manager and a dancing manager who were romantically linked, were arrested and charged with the plot to put drugs in Whitaker's drinks and then rob him.
Damn.
Yeah, dude.
Wow. That's
You're
pretty
such
shady.
a target when you go into like nightclubs and strip clubs and stuff, and you're clearly rich and willing to throw money around, dude. People are just like, let's take advantage of this motherfucker. Let's act
Right.
like his best friend,
Yep.
and we're gonna find a way to take his money.
Exactly. Treat them like royalty and rob them.
He didn't learn his lesson with the strip club incident. On January 25th, 2004, thieves once again broke into his car, this time making off with an estimated $200,000 in cash. This was later recovered. So it seemed like he kept getting this money back, though, because obviously the police figured out the triangle at the strip club that it ripped him off.
Right.
So he might have gotten that $500,000 back, and then he gets another $200,000 back in this incident.
Yeah.
Imagine that's the cash you take out with you. You know, you go. You go out on the town, and we might bring $100 with us. And who knows what I might need this for? Yeah,
right. Well, the man was already making a comfortable living with a net worth of 17 mil, right? And then you won over 100 mil.
Yeah,
it's like even 500 grand seems like a drop in the bucket for him at this point.
It is.
And he's more than halfway through his life, right? He was he was in his 50s, I think, when he won this. So, yeah, he's balls to the wall spending right now.
Yep. His family members had some troubles, and this is where the real tragedy started. Obviously, him getting ripped off for a couple $100,000 here and there is not a big deal to him.
Right.
But on September 16th, 2004, a young man named Jesse Tribble, an 18-year-old that was on and off again boyfriend of Whitaker's granddaughter, Brandy Bragg, was found dead inside Whitaker's home. So his granddaughter's boyfriend found dead inside of his home. A coroner's report indicated that he had died from overdosing on a combination of a lot of shit. Oxycodone, methadone, meperidine, which I don't even know what that is, and cocaine. So this dude...
Do you think that this may have been target? You think Whitaker may have been the target here, and maybe Jesse got into something that was meant for Whitaker in his home?
I don't. I think he was very wealthy and...
had a lot of drugs on hand.
His family members, you know how that whole thing with like a lot of affluent areas, the kids in those areas have a lot of issues with drugs and pills and things like that.
Because of the accessibility.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't go to I didn't live in an affluent part of town in Vegas, but my wife grew up in a pretty good area. She went to Centennial High School, which is pretty, it's more custom homes and things like that, at least at the time. And a lot of the kids that go to those schools seem like they had a lot of issues. Parents had a lot of money. They don't pay as much attention to them. I think this might have been the case with this because you see his granddaughter 2 months later on December 20th, 2004, Brandy Bragg, who was 17 at the time, was found dead on the property of a male friend after being reported missing on December 9th. She seemingly overdosed as well, and maybe they freaked out the home that she was at and tried to get rid of her body because they didn't want to be blamed for it. Her body was found wrapped in plastic tarpaulin and dumped behind a junked van. Cocaine and methadone were found in her system, but the cause of death was listed as undetermined, and no one was charged with the crime.
Oh, my God, dude.
So now he has his granddaughter's boyfriend die in his home, and now his granddaughter is found dead at someone else's home and just thrown out like trash.
Yeah, that's inexcusable there. But you think this was also just wrong crowd? You don't think they were trying to target her to get to him? Anyway,
I don't think either of them were targeted. I think they were just both, strung out on a bunch of drugs and who knows how. Whitaker was very generous with his money, and I'm sure his granddaughter got as much money as she wanted, and that just fed the drug addiction. I'm sure. On October 11th, 2005, at a hearing related to his January 2003 DUI, visibly shaken, Whitaker lashed out at law enforcement agencies for focusing on his troubles while failing to arrest anyone in relation to his granddaughter's death, saying, quote, "Go after whoever killed my granddaughter with as much zealous as these buttholes are trying to convict me of something I didn't do." So he obviously felt a different way than I do as far as, what happened with his granddaughter. He thinks someone killed her.
Well, because the way she was found, man, you got to understand. If one of your family members is found that way, it's like, well, why did you hide her? If you didn't do anything and she just overdosed, why didn't you just call?
I think this is fairly common in drug circles, though, where you have a home that is like kind of a junkie hideaway where a bunch of people are strung out on drugs. Someone ODs, they get freaked out. They've got a bunch of drugs in the house. They don't want to call the cops. They just get rid of the body.
Point.
It's quite common.
Yeah, excellent point.
Obviously I'm speculating. I don't know. So I don't want to be insensitive to the family if that's not what happened or whatever. This is just a theory, so I can't say for certain what happened. Whitaker was later sued by Caesars Atlantic City Casino for bouncing $1.5 million worth of checks to cover gambling losses. He would end up countersuing, claiming that his losses were supposed to be credited due to a slot machine he developed and that they in fact owed him money. Yeah.
Damn.
That's going to go over well when you tell the casino, no, I don't owe you money. You owe me money.
You owe me money. No.
Yeah.
Nah, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Not at all.
On January 11, 2007, a legal complaint against Whitaker alleged that he claimed that on September 11, 2006, thieves took all of his money. The thieves, according to the account, went to 12 branches of City National Bank and cashed 12 checks. He's getting ripped off left and right. He has family members passing away. The incident came to light because Whitaker had not been paying money to a woman who previously sued him. Kitty French filed a complaint earlier in the week requesting court costs and money from Whitaker. Everybody wants their piece. Then on July 5th, 2009, Ginger Whitaker Bragg, Whitaker's 42-year-old daughter and the mother of Brandy Bragg, the granddaughter that had passed away, was found dead in Daniels, West Virginia. No explanation was given, but officials did not suspect foul play. So now his daughter, his 42-year-old daughter, passes away.
Oh, my God. That's still so young.
Then his house catches on fire. On December 2nd, 2016, at around 7 a.m., Whitaker's home in Bland County, Virginia, was reported to be on fire. And if you think maybe this is him, he's burned through a lot of his money and he's trying to get some, insurance claim on this home. Yeah. It turns out he didn't have that home insured. When firefighters arrived, the home was fully engulfed and the house was deemed a total loss. His wife was home when the fire broke out. She was able to make it out safely. No injuries reported, but he stated that his home was not insured.
Damn, why would you not have your house insured? You have that much money. Even before you won the lottery, you could have easily had your house insured.
Unfreaking believable.
That is crazy, dude.
Yeah.
And then he died of just a long illness.
So within 14 years of winning the lottery, he had his granddaughter die, his granddaughter's boyfriend die in his home, his daughter die, his house burned down. And then he would end up passing.
Out, though, at least.
His wife did make it out. That would have just been too much. If his wife burned to death in the home as well, just be like, good God, do not win the lottery. But still, don't win the lottery. It's a curse.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a beneficial thing to do at this point.
Right. That being said, everyone listening still says, well, I'd be different. I still want to win the lottery, including myself.
Including myself. Yeah, right. Exactly. Like I say, if you live in a state where you can be anonymous, and if you can control yourself for long enough to get your affairs in order, I think that's the best way to do it. Because there's got to be some people who have really made this work and, made life-changing advances by winning the lottery.
There has to be, right?
Yeah, I think in one of the earlier episodes, I spoke of a guy who was a chief at a local fire department where I live, and he got promoted to this chief in like the best fire department there. He got like a substantial pay raise. He'd been on the firefighting force for a long time. He's already won the lottery once where he won it wasn't $1 million, but it was like hundreds of thousands he won. And then he hit it again for like 600,000 at the same time he got his raise. And so he now still is a chief at a firefighter, like a branch that doesn't really do anything hardly. And he's got a shit ton of money and he's kind of like made it work for him. And as far as I know, he's still alive. I don't know if any other bad things have happened or if, I guess being a firefighter though, I mean, you're one bad call away from the shit hitting the fan, but I don't know how much the chief actually goes out and is carrying people out of buildings anymore, but
right.
But yeah, I mean, people do make it work, but it just does seem like the people that win hundreds of millions, it's just the odds are not in your favor.
It almost reminds me of being like a childhood star, like there's a few that have made it work, but also you have to you have to realize what you're playing with fire. You have to be very careful.
And it seems like even those that made it work, they had a really dark time in their life.
Oh, for sure.
Like Macaulay Culkin, for instance. He's a great example of someone.
He came out of it, right? But
he came out of it.
He almost lost the battle. I mean, he was strung out on heroin big time and was like 80 pounds for a while.
He almost lost it. He did. Yeah. But he made a turnaround. He met an amazing woman and he turned his whole life around, man, and got his priorities right. And now, but he did talk about. Also, I heard his conversation on Joe Rogan as well. But he talked about how his parents really hooked him up. They really made sure that he had enough money to live off of. They didn't take all his money or they didn't control his estate or nothing like that. They just wanted to make sure that he was taken care of for the long haul. And so he was lucky in that aspect. A lot of kids that get rich quick, they don't have that. They don't have those people looking out for them. They just have people spending their money.
So many examples of where it went wrong being a childhood star,
no doubt.
Winning the lottery. I mean, the two Coreys, Aaron Aaron Carter just passed away. He was,
Yes.
badly addicted to drugs, fighting that battle and lost that battle.
Right. What was he like in his late 30s?
I think he was like around my age, maybe early to mid 30s.
Jesus.
You know.
Yeah, I just heard about that. I think he was like 34, 36. Yeah, he just passed like within the week, right?
Yep.
That's heartbreaking, dude. Yeah. But I think that he's kind of been spiraling out of control for a while.
Yeah.
Kind of.
All right.
Well,
don't let your body odor spiral out of control.
No.
Get yourself some Oh My Gaia.
Get it under control, people. And not with aluminum either. Don't do that.
It's not the answer.
That's right. And if you don't know what we're talking about, Oh My Gaia is an innovative, all-natural deodorant, fragrance, and beard oil company specializing in paraben and aluminum-free products. Their innovative line of deodorants inhibit the growth of odor-causing bacteria while maintaining effectiveness. Oh My Gaia, they use only all-natural, paraben, and aluminum-free organic ingredients. Today I'm rocking some Barbershop. Barbershop is really growing on me, man. It's right up there with Egyptian musk. It's kind of becoming my number one. It's just so, I don't know. It's
makes
so
you
fresh.
Smell clean, man. Like out of the shower.
Clean. It is. It's like a fresh out of the shower, fresh from the barbershop type scent, and the beard oil is great as well. But there's also tons of other scents to choose from vanilla, cherry almond, sandalwood, lavender, lemongrass, coconut, dreamsicle, leather, lumberjack, honeysuckle, fireside, bergamot amber, pear, sweet pea, sailor, and of course we can't forget True Crime Pine. True Crime Guy's very own custom scent from Oh My Gaia. If you don't know where to start, that's a great unisex scent to start with. I always keep a jar of True Crime Pine on hand. And because you're True Crime Guys listeners, you can use the word Creeper for 15% off your order. That's CREEPER for 15% off. And you can use that code at ohmygaia.com. That's OHMYGAIA.com. There's a link below this episode in the description. Or you can check them out at shop_ohmygaia on Instagram as well. Guys, you won't regret it. Make the switch. Like we said, there's also beard oils and scented oils. And they got everything that you need, all natural, no aluminum, no paraben. It's the way to go, guys. Give them a look. And again, use code word CREEPER for 15% off.
Yep, do that. And also go check out tonicvibes.com. Check out our other weekly sponsor, Tonic CBD. Not all CBD is created equal, man. They do it differently. They have a state-of-the-art manufacturing facility. They have an organic farm in upstate New York. They have a bunch of different products that you can try, from different tinctures. They have pre-rolls, which Michael enjoys on the regular. They have even vape pens, and they mix in, unlike most CBD companies, they mix in superfoods and adaptogens into their blends. Like tonic, or like Chill Tonic has like black seed oil and ashwagandha and things in it to help you get a good night's sleep, help you with stress or anxiety, all of these different things. Tonicvibes.com. Use code word CREEPER to save 20% at checkout, and just give it a try. It might help you on a daily basis like it does us.
Absolutely, guys. I love the Chill Tonic as well. The Chill
It's
tincture is one that I always keep. That stays on the nightstand.
Yeah,
it stays on the nightstand, no doubt.
Yep. Right on.
All right.
And check out our Patreon page.
Yeah, got to check out Patreon, guys. Patreon.com/TrueCrimeGuys. For just $2 a month, you get access to all of the old episodes, all the vault episodes, as we like to call them. The first 50 episodes of our show that we started back in December of 2016 are in the vault. And you can go back and listen to those, as well as every Patreon exclusive, which there's 60 to 70 of those as well. So you're talking well over 100 exclusive episodes on Patreon right now that you could go listen to if you're a new listener. And then on the $5 tier, you get access to everything we make, including Sandu Stories, Strange Shorts, Lauren's 5-Minute Murder with video, Just the Banter, and just all types of stuff, guys. Everything we make on the $5 tier, less than your cup of coffee a month. And right now, while supplies last, I decided to do a little promotion for the holidays. If you sign up on the $10 tier, we will send you a custom TCG patch. Okay? While supplies last. We only have so many left, so the next few $10 patrons, I'll send you a patch in the mail. We got Hush Your Mouth Boy patches, and we also got Let's Go Do Cult Shit patches. If you have a preference, after you sign up, shoot us an email on Patreon, and I'll see what I can do. All right? That's pretty much it.
Right on. Everybody, thank you. See you next week. Keep creeping.
Keep creeping, guys.
True crime guys, in the desert we like a mirage. It's okay if you clicked on us cause you thought we was True Crime Garage. Now we ain't mad at you, Sit down, let us talk at you. I'm talking to the creeper army. We out here making murder, get murder, get murder. True crime guys. In the desert, we like a mirage. It's okay if you clicked on us, cause you thought we was True Crime Garage. Now we ain't mad at you. Sit down, let us talk at you. I'm talking to the creeper army. We out here making murder charming. From the minds of true crime guys, come
TCG Weekly. If you've enjoyed this episode, please feel free to check out all the other programs on the TCG network. Every Wednesday, a new episode of True Crime Guys proper, Strange and Unexplained on Mondays, and Full House Fantasy Football on Fridays to start your weekend. And if those aren't enough, head on over to our Patreon account, where you can have access to hundreds of hours of content, including older episodes and other Patreon exclusives like Strange Shorts, Sandu Stories, Higher Thoughts, and the 5-Minute Murder Show. But until next time, guys, keep creeping. Hey, how do you shut this thing off? Over?